Hey guys, this is Jen from Generator 74, and today I'm doing another Christmas card. Just showed you the paper pack there, and this little image is from Whimsy, Wee Whimsy Stamps, I believe. Just had to put a few spell bunch back there, but I wanted to use, and I chose a circle for this one, as well as a scalloped circle for a border around that. The bigger one. And I'm going to be using some black cardstock that my hubby got me from work. Great card bases. It's really thick cardstock, and I told him, "Oh, this stuff's great." Like it should be because it's like super duper expensive. But whenever they are throwing something out, he asks if he can, bring it home to me, and they always give him permission. But his boss has even like come out and said, "Hey, do you think your wife could use this?" So I think it's kind of cute. So here I'm just using the Spellbinders scallop circle to cut out from that sheet there for a border around the image, and I colored the image in with my Copic markers. I'm just popping that out. And that die, I have some problems with those little pieces getting stuck, so I just take something, a pencil or a poker or something, and just pop them out. It's not a big deal. So there's my black card base. The A2 size card, as are most of my cards, which is 4¼ wide by 5½ tall. And then I'm just trimming up this paper so that I have good straight pieces to use on the card. I generally use the same papers on the front as in the inside of the card, so I have very little scraps left after I'm done with making a card. That long piece is a scrap that I had from some scrapbook paper I bought at a garage sale once, and it matched the blue in her wings, so I thought I would use it. And then just trim that piece so that it fits the I usually go 4 inches so that there's a little bit of a border around the outside. And then I chose that punch so that it would mimic the scallop that goes around the circle, because I thought it would look good together. And if I put a circle on the front, I usually put a circle on the inside for me to write on. Same thing if I use an oval, I usually use an oval on the inside, just to keep it sort of cohesive, So then I'm going to ink that up. Take off I only have one applicator, so I just have a bunch of different sponges, and I keep them right beside my ink pads on a little cassette tape holder. If I ever get my scrap room cleaned up, I'll do a scrap room tour, but for some reason lately it's just always a mess. Part of the problem is all the paper I get from my husband. It's a blessing and a curse, people. I don't know what to do with it all, and I'll never use it all, so I do give some of it away, but it's like a never-ending supply. Here I'm just inking up the edges of the circle and the scallop circle to help give them definition. And this same thing there with the scallop border. And then I'm going to start putting it all together. And I just spun it around there because it was easier for me to line it up with the edge of the card. Got some glue or ink or something on my fingernail there. Just seeing how it all looks. I didn't have any kind of sketch or anything in mind when I was doing this, so I was just sort of eyeballing it to see what would look good. And I try to line it up with the grid on my mat so that I can see if I'm getting things straight or not. And this I'm going to trim down to 4 inches as well. And then I decide that it's just easier to grab the scissors on that end piece there because I was afraid I was going to rip it with the paper cutter. I was trying to get it even so that both ends had the same portion of a scallop on it so that it didn't look off balance. I hate it when they're totally off balance. So I'm going to attach the image to the scallop circle there. And I'm putting it on the card because I knew that I wanted to have it offset, sort of, and then trim off the edges. So I wanted to make sure that I knew how much to have it hang off the edge so that the image would still look good. So I'm just trying to get it straight. And then also at a place where I'm not cutting off an odd part of a scallop there on that circle. And then this is a little border punch that I have that does like a vine type leafy branch, so I'm just cutting it apart to use it as leaves. And then I'm going to put a button on as well. So just trimming it up so that it looks good. And then I'll ink them, just to help give them some definition to get rid of that white edge. It's the little things that make a difference, I think. And then I'm just getting my glue pen to glue those on with. It's easier than trying to use, you know, like a real wet glue or like a glue runner or something, which would never work. But your fingers do get sticky when you're doing that. That's why I was sticking to my finger instead of the paper. And then I realized I need to fill in that little gap, so off another little piece. And ink it up. I'm sorry if I sound sleepy, it's because I am. It's 20 after 10 on a Sunday night, and I have to get up at like, I guess tomorrow I don't have to get up until like 5, but just the thought of going into work is depressing. I spent all day in my craft room today. I was doing 12 by 12 layouts, and I have a leave up soon. Well, I did just upload a video of a few of them that I did, and then I did a process video on one, but I need to do the voiceover on it first, so that one will be up for a little while. And just trying to find a button here, and it's just not going well. I can't seem to find one that I like. So I'm going to end up grabbing one of those wood ones and then coloring it in with a Copic marker. Actually, 2 different Copic markers, I think. I used the lighter one and then realized that it doesn't really color it enough, so then I grab a darker one usually and color it in. I had a Copic marker all over my fingers. You know, if you're not getting ink and stuff on your hands when you're crafting, you're not doing it right, in my opinion. You gotta get in there and get dirty. So I'm just coloring it in there and then add a little to the top because I think it helped it match to the wings and her little coat. So then I'm just adding some ink just to darken the edges up a little bit. Help tie it in with everything else. and looking to see which twine would match to use that button there. So I chose that and cut off enough because I'm going to tie it in a bow. But first I'm going to put some glue dots on the back, and that's going to help it stick to the mat so that when I'm trying to tie the bow, I'm not having to hold it. And I attach it to the mat first because I never know which way my bow is going to go. So I don't want to put it on the card and then have the bow going the wrong way and have it look all weird and wonky. So just tying my bow there and holding on to the center knot while you pull the ends just so that it doesn't loosen the knot. And then put some more glue dots on to hold it onto the card. And then I'm looking for a sentiment from the front, and I keep using the same set that I got on Black Friday, but it's because it has so many great sentiments on it for Christmas, and a lot of my other stamp sets have just really big sentiments which don't fit in my card, so that's why I'm using that set. There's that blue paper again from the 12 by 12 sheet that I got at the garage sale to help tie it in with the other piece there. So then I'm going to use my modern label punch from Stampin' Up, and then I'll end up inking that as well to help tie in with everything else so it doesn't stand out like a sore thumb. And attach it with some ATG adhesive, trying to decide where it looks best. And I go with up there. So then we move on to the inside of the card, putting my stamp back. As you can see, I don't clean my stamps. I, walk on the wild side, I guess. If I'm going to use like a light ink or something, I'll clean them before I use the light ink, but I use mostly black and brown, so it doesn't really make a difference. Or if I'm going to use like my Versamark ink pad, I'll make sure they're clean before I stamp on it. It's already all black from before I learned my lesson, but I have like an old one and a new one, so I try to keep my new one clean, but the problem is it's not as sticky as the old one, so yeah. So just applying some papers there to the inside, and then looking for a scallop circle that matched the one on the front. And I had all those cut out from a day that I just cut a bunch of paper out. It comes in really handy to have them already there. So then decided to add this little piece so that it matches the front as well, and add it to the inside first. And I left a gap there because I just thought that it looked interesting rather than butting it up right next to the other piece of paper. And attaching that. And I'm going to offset it as well, just so that it matches the front. Excuse me. So, and then I had another sentiment stamped out that I'm going to use on the inside, so I'm just trimming it up. And I'll ink it as well. And then apply it with some ATG adhesive as well there on the bottom. So I believe that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope everybody's having a great holiday season between Thanksgiving if you celebrate and Christmas if you celebrate that. There's a close-up. So thanks again for watching, and hope to have some more videos up soon. So see you later. Bye.